You all know why we're here. We want to thank you for coming out. Properties like this one, unfortunately, are not all that unique in Schuylkill County. Each one does have, however, a unique story in how they got into this condition. We have municipalities from one end of the county to the other, north, south, east, and west that are trying to solve the problem. The members of the House, certainly Neil has been a leader in this, have worked with the Senate and several different governors now in giving local municipalities more tools, more teeth to go after negligent property owners. We've seen some real success here in Girardville. They used a conservatorship successfully a few years ago to deal with a property over on Main Street, and yet every time the commissioners, the representatives, and I meet with local officials like the mayor, like the members of council, to talk about blight, which is often. There's one issue that inevitably comes up, and that's they need money for demolition. There are many properties, unfortunately, like this one, that are too far gone to rehabilitate, and they need to be demolished, but the needs always exceed the funding available. You can certainly see it on these two blocks right here in Girardville. Vacant properties sitting in decline, which will eventually become the problem of the municipality. It's beyond the financial means of not only the municipality, but also the county. Schuylkill County has long had a very good demolition program in place. Girardville and many municipalities have taken advantage of it, but again, the resources are limited. And so we're fortunate today to bring good news to Schuylkill County to help. As a result of, would you say, constant prodding? Would that be? I think that would be the polite way of saying it. Constant prodding. The Schuylkill County Demolition Program has been awarded a $1.4 million grant from the Department of Community Economic Development just for demolition. Nothing else, just for demolition. We've seen some real success as a result of this program. That's why Neil and I and the entire delegation went to work to get the commissioners more money for this. Certainly, Main Street here in Girardville is a perfect example of what you can do. Working in partnership with the Schuylkill Community Action, Borough was able to take advantage of the demolition program, not just to take properties down. That's just the first step. Second step, get them back on the tax rolls. Here in Girardville, we saw 5 new homes, 3 new unit townhouse rental property took the place of numerous blighted properties that were an eyesore right in the middle of town. Those same partners are now working together for another townhome rental. This one would be a 6-unit project on Main Street at the site of a horrible fire from a few years ago. Our commissioners, along with Gary Bender, who's headed up this program, and his staff, work very diligently with municipalities to utilize their limited resources in the smartest ways possible. We've talked in the past about the guidelines for the demolition program. First and foremost is municipality has to have legal ownership of the property. The building that we're standing on has been in repository in the Tax Claim Bureau, which means it's available for sale, free and clear of any liens or obligations. The legal owner of record lives in England. Given the fact that the owner lives out of the country, citing her or even having the option of extradition became very financially difficult, if not impossible, for the borough. And as you can see, it's been decaying while it's working its way through the delinquent tax sale process. And the borough, for a lot of good reasons, has hesitated to take legal possession of the property until the funding could be found. And so fortunately, this grant will help our municipalities demolish blighted properties just like this one. Local officials can work with the Tax Claim Bureau, gain legal possession of the property pretty quickly, and work with Gary and his staff on funding for the project. And the commissioners have decided it will be funded 100% through this grant, and so there will not be a matching requirement. Obviously, there are expensive projects, there are relatively inexpensive projects, but we have estimated that this should be able to take 50 qualified demolition projects throughout the county through June of 2019. And so that's what $1.4 million gets you. As I mentioned earlier, not all abandoned, not all dilapidated properties will meet the criteria for the program. And you probably noticed in driving through Girardville today, there are some other properties that are in need of demolition. The one just 2 blocks from here on 2nd and Ogden is privately owned. And in that case, the borough is pursuing action against the property owner through code enforcement and through criminal proceedings. We have asked, the commissioners have asked every municipality in Schuylkill County to inventory the problem properties to assess which ones fit this program. Certainly, partnership is the key to this. It can put a huge dent in this problem, blighted property by blighted property all across the county. The state, the county, and local governments will continue to work together in order to eradicate this kind of blight. And I think perhaps most important is to make it better for all of us in the future, even the little ones, okay? So that when she is 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, she won't see properties like this when she drives up and down the street. I'm pleased to celebrate this $1.4 million grant. Congratulate the commissioners on a very supportive, very successful grant application. And let me turn it over to my partner, Representative Goodman.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. I think he hit all of the points very accurately. As David and I visit many of our communities throughout, not just here in 123rd, but throughout Schuylkill County, one of the things that we're always told is they appreciate what we're doing in Harrisburg to give them the tools that they need with regards to legislation to help combat blight. But at the end of the day, what it really comes down to, it comes down to funding. I mean, as someone who served as a borough councilman for 8 years in my hometown in Monterey City, we always are hit with the challenge of what do you do to a property when someone completely walks away from it. I mean, it's unfair for the borough to really take on that responsibility and have other taxpayers pay for somebody else's bad behavior. So what this $1.4 million will do is allow the commissioners working closely with the local officials and the people where the rubber meets the road to actually get them the funding that they need to address a problem like this. As the senator pointed out, the resident lives in England. I think we all know that they are not coming back to address this problem. In the meantime, the neighborhood is the one that suffers. So if we're able to take down a structure like this, then somebody in the neighborhood could buy it to either put a garage in or a yard, or it works as a fire stop. Those of us from a row home environment know how important it is to have fire stops. So this is the first step. The first step was the legislation. We were able to get legislation in place to give the local mayors and code enforcement officers the tools that they need to go after these blighted properties. But when the code and the courts work against you or are no longer an option, it comes down to dollars and cents. And I commend the senator for the work that's been done. It was a delegation effort to get this $1.4 million back into this area, which can, we hope, can be used for 40 to 50 properties in the coal region. As the senator said, some of them are much bigger, some are much smaller, and that's where we need the help from the locals to come forward with a list of their top priorities that they would like to see addressed, and we will work very closely with them. The county government will work very closely with them. We will target them and move quickly to demolish these properties. I've said it before, it is kind of like a cancer in a community. Once it starts, it just seems to spread. You've got to stop it before it starts. That's where the laws come in. But at the end of the day, sometimes we have to step in with the dollars and cents needed to stop it immediately. And this $1.4 million will go a long way to addressing that. I'd like our county commissioners to speak if they can.
Sure. Just wanted to thank the state delegation, Senator Arville, Representative Goodman, Representative Knowles, Representative Tobash, for putting this forward. This has been a need in our community for a long time, and that's one of the great things that we get to work on a bipartisan basis along with our legislative delegation and also with our local officials also. Senator, I think you put the nail on the head, you know, when our responsibility is to the local people. It's to little ones like the mayor's daughter that, you know, is our future. And we have a great place here in Schuylkill County to live. We have a great place to work. And this is going to make it even better in our communities, because once properties like these are taken down, it makes it better for the community. That to me is what it's about. And she agrees exactly with what we're talking about. That's what, that is so important, because that's the music to my ears, because we want to keep our youth here. We want them to have a future here. And again, Girardville is a great place. We have Monterey City, we have Shenandoah, we have Pottsville. Everybody's stepping forward on this. And that is, and we, again, Rob, we thank also council for what you do. It's so important that we all work together. And we also have Schuylkill Community Action from a, again, that's a part of the partnership that we have that is very exciting. So we thank the delegation, Senator, Representative, for what you've done. We thank the locals for what you have done. And we also thank the citizens of Schuylkill County for what they're doing, because they are as engaged in this as anyone. Getting that information to us is so important. Gary?
Thank you, Commissioner. And again, it's, I'll echo the same, I won't go through the same sentiments my colleagues have done. And again, but again, a big thank you to the Senator and Representative Goodman and the other delegation, because we're in this together. Especially like Neil said, I come from the background of being a former mayor. And this affects every community in Schuylkill County. It's just not ones in different areas. It has the same problem. So again, we need to partner. And this is a great way which shows partnership, a bipartisan partnership to combat something that affects our communities. And again, this is a reinvestment back into our communities. I've always felt of coming up as commissioner is that we're in this all together. And again, if communities are strong, it makes a stronger county. And this is why we need to do this. It's a big issue, and this money will go a long way. Again, it's we wish it can go longer, but again, we'll keep vigil on it and definitely put the list together. But we appreciate the forward motion of like Girardville and other communities out there that have put Blight Task Force together to combat this issue. So again, this is just the start in our fight against this, and again, in reinvesting back into our local communities.
Thanks, Gary. Rob, what did we forget?
I guess the borough owes you guys a thank you, because the biggest problem is funding. And I guess the other issue is in our local community, we formed a task force to try to identify the problem properties. And two people here that are on it, along with the mayor, is Michelle O'Connell and Mary Dowd, who direct us very well and kind of lead us through this all. And this is one of the priorities on our list. In fact, one of the top two. So hopefully we can get possession and have it demolished. And I'd just like to thank Community Action, who are doing great work in this town. Unbelievable work.
Call us back when the bulldozers are here.
Yeah, we can all join. Yeah.
Maybe we can turn the key or something.
And the one thing we also want to make sure, and I think, Senator, you hit it, Neil, you hit it, is that we want to make sure that everyone understands what the process is of getting that list together. The communities to get that list together. We have a great demolition program in the county where we have worked with that, and we've gotten a lot of properties down in the past. Michelle O'Connell is one of the key people in there, along with our county administrator, Gary Bender, and they have had the challenge of doing a lot more with less. But now this gives us the tool that we can do more with the money that's come in because of what the senator and the representatives put forward. But we now need to work together, and we need to go full steam ahead.
Thanks, everybody. We'll stick around if any of you